Hi guys, Jen here with Astrology and Earth Magic, and I'm here with a little astrological wisdom to help get you through this July filled with retrogrades. So this is going to be a time for rest, reflection, to regroup, and to restart. So this month of retrogrades starts off, we already have Pluto going retrograde. So that's been since May. Then we have Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury joining in, and then lastly Chiron. So now we're all familiar with Mercury retrograde. So, don't buy electronics and expect issues with the internet, with your phones, with computers, maybe miscommunication going on. So, it's always an easy scapegoat to use too. If you say, oh, I meant to send that, or something must be wrong with my phone. I don't know why I didn't get your call. It must have been Mercury retrograde. Well, there is so much more to retrograding planets than just that. The excuse that things aren't working right for some reason. So especially when we're having all of them happening all at once, it's almost like we're being forced to kind of slow down. So we already have Pluto, like I said, and then Neptune followed suit last Friday on the 4th of July, going retrograde, and that is going to be until December 10th. And then this Sunday we have Saturn stationing to go retrograde, and that will be until November 27th. So you see, these are a little bit slower. It's not quite so quick. Mercury, of course, will be next. That's going to be the quickest one, and that is on the 19th and through August the 12th. So that one's not going to be super long. Not even a whole month. And last, we'll close out the month with Chiron stationing on the 30th. And this is our healer who will be giving us that, little healing and introspection right through till the next year, till January 2 of 2026. So you want to take this time and really embrace it. Retrogrades, again, are nothing to be afraid of. Probably don't start off with any new big adventures or buying electronics or anything like that either, but they're good to really just get yourself slowing down, maybe separate yourself a little bit from all the craziness that's going on in the world. And it's a chance at a redo. To reevaluate what we've been doing, to really take a look at our lives, your life, your creativity, your career, and even your dreams, because we have, your life and your creativity, that's Mercury, and then we have your career, that is Saturn, and then we have your dreams, that is Neptune, and then your mental health, which is Chiron. Mental health and physical health too. So it really just to help you just fully evolve when everything starts moving straight direct again. So you want to pay close attention to the houses in your chart where these retrogrades will be taking place. So this will tell you what area of your life you need to take a little look at. Maybe slow down a little bit, take a pause, and maybe kind of do some introspection. Think about it, think about what's been going on, and see if it's everything's working out the way you like it to work out. This is a time for maybe to rehabilitate, maybe to fix things, and maybe come out with a fresh new start if it's really not going like you wanted it to go, or it's not working out as you thought. Maybe you had these pipe dreams and they're just not really as good as what you thought they were going to be. So maybe this is the time you want to pull back a little bit. Neptune, Saturn, and Chiron are all going to be in the sign of Aries. So find that in your chart, see where that is. That's 3 planets in that sign going retrograde. So wherever that falls in your house, you really need to take some deep thoughts about, really kind of maybe do some meditation on it. Neptune and Saturn will be dipping back into Pisces too during their retrograde cycle. Saturn will dip back on September 1st, and that will be until about the 25th degree of Pisces. Neptune on October 22nd till about the 29th degree of Pisces. So that one's not moving too much, just a degree or two the whole time. And Chiron will be in about the 27th to 21st degree of Aries the whole time, staying in Aries the whole time. So that's really going to be a lot of focus of that health, that mental health, that physical health that you want to work on there with Chiron. Mercury will be spending its whole retrograde in Leo. So find those two signs in your chart, find out what houses they're in, and that's going to be about the 15 degree Leo to the 4th degree. So if you have anything in those degrees, that's where you're really going to feel it, especially if you have other planets there. That's really going to point out kind of the things you want to focus on. Neptune and Pisces kind of rule like a withdrawal, so it's kind of like, again, stepping back, a seclusion, almost a self-imposed seclusion, if that's needed in your life. It rules a lot of 12th house themes like places of seclusion, like rehab, atonement, and some not enjoyable places like, jails and hospitals where you're atoning for your actions, but also can be sanctuaries, spas, retreats, places that may make your mind and body feel a little bit better. Now, Saturn is the separator. It separates, and it can help us to gain the ability to withdraw, to be able to go into that self-seclusion, to maybe go away to the spa, to go away to this retreat and not maybe have guilt about it, that you're pulling away from your family or something. But if you feel like this is something you need to do, Saturn is going to give you the ability to do that, to kind of take a step back and separate from everybody else. And maybe it will even be a time to just rethink and maybe atone for your actions that you might not be so proud of. So like we discussed with the Capricorn full moon video, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. A lot of this information is intertwined because the ruler of Capricorn, which is, and that was yesterday, we had that full moon, ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and that's going to be going retrograde this Sunday. So I'll link all that at the end so you can just take a look and kind of, see everything kind of full circle. So with Saturn, you really just want to think like, are you proud of who you've become, especially the journey it took you to get there? Are you happy with the way you went about things? Are you happy with the way you've treated people along the way? Or are there regrets perhaps? Look at a retrograde group like almost as if it was like a 12-step program. So, are there things you need to atone for? Are there people that you need to ask forgiveness from because of maybe you stepped on some toes? Maybe this is just something that you have to do for yourself. Maybe it is a literal 12-step program because you're trying to fix your life that, from addictions or something like that. And it's separating from the things that could be tempting you to do these things. That's that Saturn given that separation that could maybe send you into a rehab if you are having trouble with that, to get you away from the people that might be those influencers. So you can see how all these planets are working together to really help us here, not to hurt us, to help us. And, really to confront yourself after a deep retrospect, deep, inside, thinking about maybe like, again, apologizing to somebody, thinking about apologizing to yourself. Like, why did I let myself do this? Why did I let my, maybe these things get away, because I didn't want to take on the responsibility. And so I let these things get away that could have boosted my life. So, otherwise, or maybe, it isn't even that. Maybe you've just been like a complete douchebag and you just need to atone for your actions and say, I'm sorry, and I'm going to be a better person from now on. Either way, it's time to really just gain some clarity. Neptune really likes to fog things up. So that's why at this time you want to meditate and really just appreciate the things that you have. Meditate on it, because that will help give you clarity, because you're using more intuition than anything else. So Mercury in Leo is ourselves, the sun, and our hearts. So this all has to do with, also represents electronics, news, communication, and other forms of information, and the way you gather it and the way you process information. So maybe this is where we need to, again, separate and pull away from. And I think this is a biggie here with all this, especially with what's going on. And this is to really help us to protect our hearts, our minds, our souls. So it's all like, with our hearts, that's that, Mercury and Leo. Our minds is Mercury, and our souls is just that kind of that Neptune. Stop binging the toxic news media, comparing and obsessing over influencers on, TikTok or whatever, any social media. They try to make their lives look better and don't just think that, I'm not good enough. I could never be as good as these people. Why can't I have that nice car, that boyfriend, or, that career or whatever like these people have? Because, you don't want to compare yourself to others. You're a completely unique human being on your own. And being envious is not going to help anything. Again, you want to be appreciative of what you do have. And I know it can be hard because sometimes you don't think about the positives in your life. You think more and focus on the negatives, and you've taken a lot of these positives for granted. So maybe just, going outside and, looking at the beautiful backyard here. It's like, me and my husband have been talking about moving across the country. But then, I come out and I look around, I'm like, why would I want to leave this? So you want to just appreciate what you have and not just focus on what you don't have and what you want, because what you want could really be just a lot closer to you. So I know for me, I've been feeling super overloaded lately. My mind and my body are both just exhausted from just trying to be the best with my career, trying to be that person with all the answers, having everything under control. And of course, deep down, I feel like I'm out of control. And then with even just, my body, my workouts, so like I join these stupid step challenges and I keep trying to outdo everyone that's in the challenge and be on the top of the podium. And it's so much. And just the other day, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to just take a break. Because competing with yourself can really be the hardest thing at all. And it's almost like an unwinnable situation, competition with yourself. Because a lot of times you just don't feel like you're ever going to be good enough. But just after Saturn moves back into Pisces and Neptune, settles at that 0 degrees of Aries, my husband and I will be jetting off to Wyoming. So we will be getting a little dose of the West, where we kind of want to go, even though we're kind of very happy here right now. It's also a perfect place to kind of go off grid for a while. Where we're going, there's barely any internet in most places. The news isn't even, it's not loaded with politics. So you're not just watching like this one saying this and this one saying this. And, instead the news is all about the farm reports, just normal life and local stuff. And it is a much needed change from the kind of news that you get here on the East Coast. So if you're already out there, you know what I'm talking about. And I remember when we went last year, when we were coming home, we had no idea what was going on. It seemed like we were just out of the loop, like we had been put somewhere and, cut off from reality, because it is so different in some places. And it actually feels really good. And it also can feel good just not to be able to connect sometimes, to not have your phone right there and, every text you get, every phone call you get, every notification that you get, you're checking. So it takes you away from doing that, and that's really healthy too sometimes. If you're able, try and pull that back. If you can focus on your own mental and physical health, don't focus on everything external. You want to heal your brain, heal your heart, and heal your body. Chiron, again, will be in Aries for the entirety of its retrograde. So it's really thinking about, okay, everything's starting to go, but how are we going to move forward through all this? When we feel like we've been harmed, when we feel like we've been wronged, led astray maybe by bullying or personal or social media, who knows, by yourself, self-bullying, your friends, again, social media, for how we look, not good enough, for how we vote is not right, for how we worship might not be right. And pulling away, putting your phones down can really help. Know that that's just something that you're just so used to looking at, and you might feel just like, I'm missing out. That FOMO, or the fear of missing out. You'll have that, but you'll actually feel better in the long run, because bad people hide behind their technology so they can feel superior and say hurtful things, and ignore, so you just want to ignore all this, because you just got to know that these people, they're feeling the same way, but this is the way. If they feel superior, then that makes them feel better about themselves. So you want to try and just ignore all that negativity, plus news and government and all that bullshit. I just don't even know what to believe anymore. So, it's just all confusing, and you're just so don't even watch it. Just step aside, step away, take a breather. Maybe cuddle with a pet instead. I actually don't have any around me for the last 5 seconds, which is a shock, but that always makes me feel better. Just sitting with them and petting them, take a walk in nature, and just, instead of taking selfies, take in just the sight, the smells and the feels of everything, the wind, the heat, the sun on you, the way that the grass feels under your feet, anything. Just take in all the natural beauty of everything around you, and not just what you're looking at on your phones or on TV. Put yourself in a better place, in a better headspace, and we'll come out of these retrogrades recharged, reinvigorated, and rehabilitated. So I hope that you guys can really take this time to recharge yourselves and just really get a nice regrouping going on. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and let me know what you liked in the comments, and even let me know what you didn't like in the comments, because I'd like to know, and it really helps boost the channel up, helps me know what to focus on, that makes everything a little bit more interesting. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because we have lots of fun stuff coming up, and I hope to see y'all there. So I will see you soon. Good luck with all the retrogrades. Bye bye.